thought those were in. Holy. Well, that's not cool. I'm back. This looks pretty good. My next victim. That's like a 69, 70 Roadrunner, I guess. Wow, I'll have to have a good look at that. Let me see. Oh, yes, and I got a parcel in here from, Mike told me it arrived. So Patrick Angle is from down south, and I've been yakking at him. He's got a 57 Pontiac wagon, and he sent me some parts. Let me get this open here. That he had for my car. So I'm kind of excited. See what we got here. Okay. What do we got here? Hey. Hey, I hope you bring a little class to the shop with the Pontiac Cup. Right on. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Patrick. That is freaking awesome. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's great. Definitely going to use that. And we had talked about lenses. Holy, look at this. Oh boy, I don't want to break them. I think tail light lenses for 64 Pontiac. And he said he had a couple of original ones laying around. Holy. Holy, these are brand freaking new. Oh, nice. Thank you, Patrick. Far freaking out. Yes, I'll definitely give you a call. Oh my word. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they've ever been on a freaking car. And it's kind of handy because I just noticed my left side is smashed out completely and my right side is broken. What are the chances? Like, that's amazing. All right. Okay. I'm going to re-wrap them in the bubble wrap so they don't get damaged and get them home. This is freaking awesome. And my new Pontiac Cup. That's going to be with me every day. Right on. Thank you, Patrick. Far freaking out. So here it is. Ooh, nasty rad support. Uh-huh. Yeah. Ooh, look at that door. That's caved in pretty good. But that's all right. After the GTO, it's all a piece of cake. So we'll need a rocker, quarter, see about the inners. I wonder if this has an interior in it. Oh well, I'm gonna have to get set up, lower the car down, and see if it's got an interior I gotta take out because he said I gotta do floor pans. So it's exciting to be back. No shortage of work. And what do we got left? About 6 weeks, 5 weeks till auction day, something like that. So time to get geared up. So in order to change the floor, I've got to empty this car out, which isn't a big deal, except there's really no place to empty it. I gotta see. This door sits a little bit low, and that's a bit of a gap. Okay, so there may be hope. It may adjust out. Oh boy. Okay, we'll have to see what's going on here. But for now, I'm going to open the car up and start taking things out. And I might set them over there on the floor. The Bobcat skid steer is going to be out for a couple weeks. So maybe for now I'll just stack all my parts over there. Okay, I have many more trips of moving small stuff out of here. Again, I'm going to unbolt the seats and do that from underneath maybe. I think so. So yeah, there's just a whole bunch, and the trunk has a whole bunch more. So I'm going to spend the next while trying to clear this out, because that's the first thing I'm going to do is hack this floor out and put in a new one. It's pretty simple. I'd like to make sure I do it really fast. I want to make big progress. When the fat cat's not around, that's the most important time to make good time, because they always expect more than is possible. So, if I can get lots done when they're gone, it's easier for them to go away again, and that's important.
Hey guys, Mike here from Russ Brothers. We're in beautiful downtown sunny Armstrong, Northern Ontario, and I'm not impressed with the weather you guys are having out here. It's been 4 days on the train to get there, but we see you at the Motorama, 7th, 8th, and 9th in Toronto. Looking forward to meeting all you guys, seeing some cool cars. See you there, and hopefully the weather improves, because it's not that good here. Anyway, it's nice in BC. See you guys soon. Ciao.
Yeah, I better protect the tag. Oh boy. Anyhow, I got about an hour of clean up and throwing parts in a pile. Then I can get serious. I think I'm ready to unbolt the seats. Lift this car up in the air. Wow. Get the window down. Wow. Yes, there's a lot of junk. Yeah, let's lift it up. I think just for the hell of it, I'm going to lower the car down and line up this door, because it's so freaking gross. It's just annoying. And I might have to wait for Cassidy to get those seats out. We'll see. Down 9/16. Well, how did it get so bad in the first place? Thanks, Mike. You found me a fun one. Yikes. Okay. This thing's been stuffed on the front. I didn't notice that. Look down here. You hit a little bit. Crinkle up here. So I gotta start finding out what did it do? I'm starting to think is the top of this pillar moved back. So now I got to start measuring. This door's all the way forward, and the top hinge that lifts up the back. I can't move it ahead any farther, which makes me wonder if I have to jack the pillar ahead, except I've got a gap big enough to put my thumb in here. So I gotta start looking for where this thing might be kinked, why it's so freaking screwed up. Because it most certainly is. So it's not boring. Just really kicked that out. It'll need some hammering, but makes it look better. Okay. This door is a freaking mess. I see a big split here. Okay, look at this. Big crack there. Is that from stress? Maybe. You see this kink here, and you can see it's bent this panel in quite a bit. It doesn't matter that much, but it got hit hard enough right here. So did it move? I mean, here's the thing. You look at that gap. I can put my thumb in there. And the top door hinge is moved all the way back. No, all the way forward. Yes, all the way forward. If I move it all the way back, that's where it was before. The door's sitting down here. The bottom hinge, I have moved all the way back. And it needs to go back another 3/8 of an inch. And if it did, it would raise the door way up here. And then I'd move the top hinge back, and we'd have a decent gap. So why is this way too far forward? So now I gotta look, make sure maybe we got a broken hinge, a bent hinge. It's really hard to say, but I gotta start looking for the why. Why like this? A little smack in the frame right here. So I'm gonna do some measurements. That doesn't look that serious. I'm guessing this is more forklift damage from moving it around the yard. So this hinge is all the way back, right?
Yeah.
And this one is all the way forward.
Yeah.
Look at the gap I have. So I'd like to bring this one back farther
Yeah, but
to
you
lift
can't.
the door up.
Yeah.
And then I could drop the top down by moving that one back. So something is wrong with the bottom. So I don't know if it's a bent hinge.
Well, this is bent
Broken
in here, right? Like look at
I
this.
see that, yeah.
So that could be pulling this whole pillar in, right? Like moving it this way, which
But
would mean
the rocker seems, you know, I know exactly what you're saying, and that's what I have to find now, is,
just trying to see if we can see if it's buckled in here.
yeah, and I mean, I see this, but that's probably not right.
Do you have a flashlight?
Is the door bent? Yeah, it's very odd. Why is it so screwed up?
One.
So I gotta check that hinge. I'm gonna open the door, watch your fingers. Oh, look at this. You see that dent? Look on the outside. This
Yeah,
door has been sprung open so hard that it bent the door skin against the hinge
Yeah.
right there. Which means this bottom hinge must be bent,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, very possible.
Okay.
And it does look like, that looks kind of buckled too. I don't know if that
It's
is.
hard to say, but you know,
But I'm also looking at this and it kind of does look like that, like when I look at this, it does look like this pillar like curves this way, like it kind of looks like it
look
cuts
at,
in.
yeah, okay, that, it's been pushed in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this
it's
has to
curving.
come out, this all has to get pulled out, but this is twisted, it's not straight, it's going like this, which is also giving you that pull there at the bottom.
Yep, I'm going to, well, at least I can see where the damage is now. That was weird. So either I'll find another hinge to start with, or I'll have to take this one off and straighten it.
Well, and I think too, underneath of it's bent, and like I'm looking at this whole post, and this post is actually twisted this way, like this whole section has to come.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I think I can actually get at the inside of that. Not bad. Yeah, it's fairly open.
And then this, this thing down here.
Oh,
where it
that's
welds
important to
here,
the frame, yeah.
and that's cracked off, and then it's dented
So I
here
see
as well.
this, and I was wondering, is that forklift damage?
Kind of looks like it, and it's also bent in here, like this plate, and then it's cracked here, this support.
Nasty little bit of
So,
damage.
so like this whole, well, from here to here, because there's also one buckle in front of the suspension.
Really?
It's a very tiny one, but right there.
Ooh. Wow. Right. This side, that might be bent up, which is bigger
Yeah.
at the top or bottom.
It's bigger at the top.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I know. But again, it's supposed to be quick.
Yeah.
Make it nice. So I'm gonna start, I'm gonna do a
My
bunch of
next
measuring.
question is, do they make new front ends for this, like front frame rails?
You can buy frame rails, yeah. But we just don't have time now to order frame rails. And,
I also don't know how far they come if they're before suspension.
oh yeah, they do. They
Suspension.
have complete frame rails that go back here to the transmission cross member.
Okay.
And you get new aprons, you get it all. But right now I'm gonna see, I think I'm gonna take the door right off.
You know the other thing we could do is we could clear out some of this junk and I could drive the skid steer in here and you could hook a chain up to the skid steer and drive
But I'd have
it.
to anchor the car to the hoist.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
we
don't
could
wanna
chain that.
mess with the bolts, hold the hoist down, and all
Yeah.
the rest of it, right?
Fair enough.
Wow! I'm gonna start by taking the door off.
Okay.
Yes. All right. It'll be a fun day. Now this hinge is bent, it's kicked in here a bit. So I think I'm gonna put a porta power inside and get rid of that little wrinkle. Just for the hell of it. I'm gonna get a big hammer and a big punch first. And this is bolted on. That might pull this lip out by hammering it. And once it's out, I'd have to push the front back to make it stay up. So. So I've got to take off the kick panel off the lower inside. And I'm going to use a porta power. I'm going to push this out. Okay, and the lip. 29 3/8 to the center. And from the lip, this is 28 and a half. So 7/8 difference. That's quite a difference. So this is kicked up, so I can put a timber underneath this side, and I can chain this to the timber, and I jack up on the frame rail just behind where the kink is, and I block the far end, and as I jack up the middle part, this will stay down. It'll get pulled down because of it. Kind of a pain, but we'll deal with it. So I would rather, I'm gonna have to set it back down on its wheels probably, so that I can get a channel underneath here, an I-beam or a timber, in order to pull this back down where it belongs. And right now the measurement is 7/8, but I'm gonna lift it all the way up in the air, and I've got to look over the rest of the frame to make sure there isn't any other surprises. So, yeah. When you see a buckle like this, okay, we know it's supposed to be flat, like this side. This has got a buckle. That means it either, the front of this frame rail went up or down. By measuring, we know it went up. So the rear of the K-member is where I would jack up while having this chain down. And by lifting that up, actually this comes down and I get my measurement back. And this is something I want to do before I cut the car apart, because I want everything to move that's been bent. So if I pull it back down while it's still one piece, everything should come back to where it was happy before, in a perfect world. But I am going to lift it up right now and double check underneath the car in case I'm kicking a dead horse, so to speak. So we'll see what happens. And this is where I want to jack up. So I think I'm going to lower the car down. Maybe. If I put timber underneath and chained around this front part to a bar under the hoist, I could jack up from here, and that might do it, but I would have to chain down the rear of the car to the rear of the hoist. This is not a frame rack, but this is 12 gauge steel in a tube, and I believe it's going to move pretty easy. And once it moves and I have stress on it, I can tap on the buckle and it should easily come back to where it belongs. And then I'm going to have a look at how to make sure it stays that way. So again, I'm trying to do this in 6 days. New quarters, new floor, get the front end on it, but I got to do this. Framework scares away a lot of potential buyers. It's fun stuff. Once you get it right, you know it's right. It's nothing to be worried about. Frames get straightened every day. They get bent every day too, probably twice a day. But they get fixed too. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look here. We have a plan. This will help. Okay. There. Now, I put a chain around this and I bolt it on here. Then I jack up right here. And I'll just throw the chain around the K-member. Because like I say, I don't think this is going to be a tough pull, right? The transmission jack to hold the timber up in place. Well, I'm going to try this first. And I guess I'll use the porta power. I was thinking of using the air jack. But I'll see if we got a little bottle jack. Okay, I have chained down the rear of the car. I have chained down the front of the car. Now I'm going to see what happens when I jack up at the bend. So I've got a measurement I've already taken. Go lower the hoist down so if things do go sideways on me, it's not as far when it falls off the hoist. A little bit more. Pound a little bit more on it, but before I get too carried away, I have to know where point B is. Alright, I'm trying to get this rad sport closer to where I want it. A lot of that ridge has come out on the inside, but not enough. So I got to keep carrying on, lightly tapping, put some stress on it, lightly tap. I'm looking at the K-member here. It's got a bit of a bend on it where the radius arm comes through. That adjusts forward and back. So looking at that bend, I'm going to see if I don't have another K-member. So for now, we'll carry on. So I'm going to have to unbolt this. Obviously this hole's been stretched out a bit. That'll help it come forward. And I might just borrow one of these from another car, because obviously that was pretty messed up. And that sets our distance for the front. But I do have to check the K-member, because that could be what it's all about too. Looking pretty good. Not much of a kink there now. A little bit left. Whew. Ooh, nice. Wow. Okay, I'm out by 1/8 of an inch here. This is, I gotta get a chair to stand on. haven't put a level underneath the frame, and that's what I need to do. I mean, I could have a bang on the frame where I'm resting on the car jack. So I'm so close. I'm going to get the level if I can find it, and I'm going to check the frame rail side to side, make sure the car's sitting level, and I can see it's not quite, and I'm quite confident once I get it set level, I'll redo these measurements and I should be good. And then I can worry about fixing this and also porta power the inner panel out of the A pillar where that's bent. So I just have to find a level and I can carry on. Nice. All right, I'm pretty happy. I got my frame down where it belongs. And then we had that damaged area over here. So I've straightened that out. So that's all better now. So now I'm going to push out the inside of this pillar. I'm going to straighten out that hinge. And then after a full day's work, I might be able to start on the floor. But this was all very important stuff. Okay, we're in position. We're trying to push out this outer cowl that is body mangled. So I've got the porta power right across the front from the lower A pillar on the other side where it's quite solid. I'm just pushing on light tin here. Yeah, I might have to change my placement. Okay, be nice to have a second hand here. I might have to get a different end. It's a little more pointed. Good. Good. I don't know. I'm gonna try this. I can't really get into it. This brake pedal's in the way. Sure, I can take that off. It's all seized up anyhow. It's a lot of effort for a limited gain. Wow. I can't get a sledgehammer in there. Okay, we're winning. Yep. I've got to get in here. This was where it was really messed up. Right where the hinge bolts on. The door had been flung open or whatever. It bent the hinge pillar and tilted it towards the center of the car. So I'm now going to jack it out. Okay, I'm going to have to do some shrink. I've got to bring the torches over. Try to show you what I'm up to here. Okay, so this was kinked way in. So I've got it roughed out, but it was kinked in so far, it stretched all this metal in here. So I'm going to heat up areas the size of a dime and try to hammer it in and get this smooth. This was dished in. Now you can see here, the hinges were cracked. Same on the bottom. So I've got it hammered back where I believe it belongs. This is no longer sunk in because the door had come flying open and twisted this whole pillar. So now I think it's in the right place. Time will tell. So now I'm going to do some shrinks and try to make this look like a good panel. It ain't perfect. But you saw it a few minutes ago. It's coming nicely. I got to finish dollying the edge. I got some welds to do there. But it's out where it belongs. It's not body mangled. And I'm happy with it. It's you know, it's coming to be a good day. I'm going to work a bit late tonight because I didn't think I'd have to be doing freaking framework. So I want to make up for it. So we'll carry on here now. I'm going to see how these parts. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to soak these down. I had them loose before, which is very, very tight. Okay, so my next challenge, I'm going to zip cut through these cracks, or I'll take it right off. I'm just going to go see if I can steal one off a car outside. That would be super cool. So I'll see if this hinge matches. Don't ask where I got it, Mike. Way cool. And that's what we're doing. So there's where the crack was, and the same on the lower. It was quite a big crack from being hammered open so wide, and I straightened it. So they are the same. Cool. Okay, so this car still way ahead of most cars, especially a GTO. It's a pretty good car. To do this floor pan in here isn't going to take that long. You know, once I get, this was a big deal. Getting that kink out was a big deal. And the front frame horn, I'm pretty happy with all of that stuff. You have to be able to justify your time. And I have no problem with this one. Unless you're working on your own car. Then you can take your sweet time, drag your butt, but it's nice to get something accomplished. Yeah, and I don't use air tools for assembly, disassembly much. Knowing shit's about to break if I'm going by hand. When I was in the collision shop, once a long time ago, and I land far, far away, yeah, use the air tools. Usually the vehicles were fairly new, they weren't rusty. So stuff popped apart. You could strip a car down to just about nothing in under an hour. Just the way they build them. So my next move is going to be loosely fit the door. I'm wondering if this door got bent too. The hinge, I mean. We're gonna say not, but we're gonna find out. So, yeah, I want to put the door on because I want to find out if I've got this fixed. And as soon as I get the door on, I'm probably going to take it off to make it easier to cut out this floor pan. That's all right. I thought those were in. Holy. Well, that's not cool. Jeez. That could have been a disaster. Well, that was embarrassing. I'd like to say I've never done that before. Of course, I'd be lying. Change the door is what I'm leaning towards. So I can get the door up too high, but the gap's too big. And when I say the inside of the door is damaged, if you look in here, all this has been pulled out from underneath the door skin lip, because when this door got flung open too far, it totally destroyed that front lip where the hinges bolt on. Someone sort of half-assed hammered it back together, and they didn't get it right. So if that, you have to imagine, if this was pushed farther ahead, the door would sit farther back. So between the top hinge and the front of that door, I've got to wander out and see if I can find me a door. And I know how much Mike just loves me cannibalizing his car. So we'll decide whether I'm going to mention it to him or not. Okay, I got a door. It's a blue door. Okay, dig this. See that nice line there? All that cool stuff? Yeah, look at this one. It doesn't even look like the same door. It just disappears, so that's why. And you know, I was looking at the outside of the door looked pretty good. It's really something I should have picked up on, because that is different than that, which means everything here is out of position. So now I'm going to put the other door on, and that should solve the last of my problems. I thought it would be a lot easier with the 4-post, but there's just so much crap around it, it's almost like working on a 2-post. But I can open the doors, and that's a huge bonus. So I'm not going to waste time sniveling. Okay. Let's see what we get this time. Here we go. Got a couple creases in it, but dents are no big deal. It's not a rusty door. Oh, look at that. That's pretty close. Set the latch. I'm going to pop that up. It's kind of freaking cool. Not quite there, but we're very close. if I just had a little more room here. Oh man. Okay, so if I had a little more room here, I'd bring over a jack and stick it on there. And lift up the back of the door. But I'm not. I don't. So I gotta try to find another way. Let's see if that works. I don't like it. I want more. I want more. It'd be easier if I opened the door all the way, but I got this here. You know, I'm wasting a lot of freaking time. You can see this gap up here, the vent window. It looks good, but this is too tight. So I want to move this back. As you can see, the gap here isn't bad, right? You could say it's a hair on the large side, but it's pretty freaking good. There's a crease through here, but there's no rust. That's why I chose this door. There was another door with no dents, but it had big freaking rust all the way along the bottom of it. And that takes more time to fix than this. So, yeah. I've got to play with it just a little bit. But I could kind of call it a day now, because today I jacked the frame out, got it straight. I removed this top piece on the frame rail, hammered it straight, then I was able to go inside and dolly the frame rail and weld this piece back in. I got the frame horn where I wanted. First thing this morning, I cleaned out the inside of the car and took all that crap out of there. I got the seats out of there. I with the other door, found another hinge, went and found another freaking door. I've got it on there. So, I mean, I'm probably going to adjust this window just so I make it close nice. But at least now I can go to sleep and go, okay, tomorrow, day 2, I'm going to get that floor cut out and get the new one put in. And after that, then I'll start looking at quarters. Mike brought them in for me. Well, he was going to, but he was a busy guy. So, and this is what I'm trying to work around, is all these parts. And I mean, I could move them to where? So, you know, it's not that big a deal. I don't want to sound like I'm a sniveler. I'm not. But occasionally, when you can't move, you use a golf word. I do. But it was a good day. I'm happy now. So tomorrow will be a better day. I still have to hammer out this front rad support, but I want to get some progress on the car. Doing that rad support, if I don't have a chance to get to it, you can easily replace it. I could hammer that straight. I would say there's 2 to 3 hours of playing with that rad support down on the lower. And right now I just want to do bigger and better things. So I'm going to pop the big dent in the door, and I'm going to leave the other dents. And right now I'm going to align the vent window. And then I'll probably in the morning, and this, yeah, I got this out too. I was happy with that, and I pushed the pillar out. I forgot. Well, I started early, worked late. This is a race to the finish. So, good day.